Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you're all having an amazing festive season, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. This is gonna be my very last video for 2021. I wanted to share with you my favorite 25 images I took this year. The pictures that I'm about to show you are mainly gonna be macros and bird shots, so let's have a look. I really like this first macro shot, abstract macro shot that I took at the local wetlands. The tiny little water droplets on this blade of grass, this really rich, vibrant green color in contrast with the low-key black background, and it's unbelievable how many tiny water droplets were on this grass. I think I could have counted at least a couple hundred. Especially if I zoom in, you can see just tiny minuscule water droplets. The second image was an extreme macro shot, a stag macro shot I took of the beautiful structure of the scales of a moth. I can't remember the exact number of images for this stag shot, but it was at least about 80 shots. And if I zoom in, you can see the really intricate structures of these individual scales and the way they are stacked together. It's unbelievable. This next shot is another water droplet shot. I found these tiny water droplets on fungi. What I really liked about this shot, that the texture of the fungi was kind of velvety, also resembled that of sand. This easily could have been taken just on a sandy beach. Somebody told me that the central water droplet reminded them of a lens bow, and it kind of looked like a lens bow for sure. The next shot is an aerial shot that I took on a beautiful foggy morning, just about 15 kilometers from where we live. I really like the low-lying fog as it enveloped the entire area, and you could only see the canopy of the trees peeking through. The next one is a beautiful little Ocrisiona, a little wasp mimic, and I absolutely love this little girl. It's a female for sure. Those eyelashes are just hilarious. It's so cute. Another jumping spider shot. This species is super tiny. It was sitting on a leaf, and I was so happy that I managed to grab an entire series of this absolutely beautiful species. What's funny about this tiny little jumping spider, that all the little hairs and scale-like structures are that of golden color, very beautiful metallic iridescent golden color. Especially the abdomen is covered by thousands and thousands of these tiny little hairs. Next one, I definitely had to include one of my common peacock spider shots. I took at least 300 images over the course of a couple of weeks or several weeks. From early October to mid-November, I spent about 100 hours recording this beautiful species, both their hunting and courtship behavior. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I'll leave a link to every single video in the description. This is a male peacock spider, very colorful, beautiful little species. Part of their courtship behavior display is waving their third pair of legs. But if you want to learn more about that, then feel free to check out this video as well. The next couple of shots are gonna be of ant species that were drinking. I really like this first one in particular because you could see the reflection of its face on that sphere of honeydew that it was consuming. I really like this next shot as well, especially the way I managed to frame it up. It was on the underside of a leaf, and it was kind of cool because it kept drinking this water droplet, or from this water droplet, for quite some time. But it was still quite difficult to take this shot because it was relatively windy that day. This next image is of a link spider. I found it on a chair in our backyard, and I kind of like these abstract lines, these leading lines of the fabric leading to the subject. This next shot is of a sooty orb weaver. I kind of like the position of its legs as it was consuming or sucking out the innards of this half-digested or semi-digested prey, a tiny fly species, I think, or some kind of wasp. I believe it's a fly. The next shot I really liked. I took this just a few weeks ago. I believe it was a half-bend hoverfly. What I really liked about this shot, even though it's not perfectly sharp, is the fact that its body was almost entirely covered, especially the face, by a multitude of pollens. It looked quite cool in my opinion. Let's go to the next image. I really like this image because of the beautiful colors of this gorgeous moth species. You can see all these beautiful green, blue, teal, mauve, and golden colors. Even the eye looked quite amazing with the emerald green. I kind of like the negative space on the right side and the way it was perched on this tiny little leaf. The next image is of a couple of sting bugs or shield bugs. They are not the most beautiful species, that's for sure. The reason why I like this image in particular is because they looked like a mirror image of each other. The reason why I included this next shot of a beautiful and very colorful long-legged fly is because it had been so difficult for me to capture this species in particular. They are super skittish. Every time the flash goes off, they just fly away. So I was really stoked and very fortunate to be able to capture a couple of shots that were super sharp and contained plenty of detail. This is the last macro shot that I've got on this list. This is a beautiful wasp species. I haven't been able to identify it yet, unfortunately. I really like the soft pastel color of the background in contrast with the rich golden hues and the darker tones of its body, and also the way it wrapped its legs around this blade of grass or reed. And now let's have a look at the bird images, my favorite bird images. This first one is of a welcome swallow. Finally, I managed to grab an in-flight shot of this species. I had been trying for so long, but I was never successful. Tracking them in flight can be super difficult. This welcome swallow had been perched on a fence, so I could pre-focus, which made it significantly easier to grab this in-flight image. I really like the fact that finally the background was uncluttered as well, and you could see the beautiful wings fully extended, and the lighting wasn't too bad either. This next image is of a greater crested tern in flight. What I really liked about this image is the vertical position of its wings. It was about to land on a rocky outcrop amongst a small colony. I took this shot at Ricketts Point Marine Sanctuary. Feel free to have a look at the entire video. I think I got some really beautiful, amazing footage of this gorgeous species. This next image is of a silver gull preening or baiting. What I really liked about this image, if we zoom in, you can see that the eye was peeking through the wingtips, which made it pretty special for me. So that is the reason why I included this image. And also a little bit of water droplets coming off at the bottom. This next one is a low angle shot of a beautiful long-billed corella as it was foraging in our neighborhood. I really like the soft pastel colors of the background and the shadows, and also the foreground bokeh. This next image was taken a couple months ago of a beautiful sulfur-crested cockatoo in flight. There's not much to say about it. I think the wing position was really nice as well, and the soft lighting allowed me to capture all the detail in the white feathers, in the white plumage. This next image I really like because of the soft earthy tones. This juvenile eastern rosella was perched on this gum tree, and luckily the background was not cluttered. Luckily no vegetation was in front of it, so I was really happy. These next couple of shots are of an Australian magpie. In the first one it was warbling, singing. You can see the beak partially open, and I really love the rich green color of the background. And in the next one, which is an in-flight shot, it flew so close to me, and normally I would be upset that the wingtips were clipped, but I decided to crop a little bit further in this instance just to create a symmetric image. I think the wing position is spectacular, and also the tail feathers as it was about to land. I decided to convert it into black and white, and because the color of the background didn't add too much to the image. If I zoom in, you can see the amazing, quite aggressive look, I must say, of this beautiful specimen. And this is the very last image that I'm going to show you. This is probably my favorite shot that I took this year. This is a portrait of a noisy miner as it was preening itself. The symmetry of its wings reminded me that of a butterfly, and also the yellow color standing out between those gray and darker tones. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this montage. Wishing you all a happy new year, and hopefully 2022 is going to be a much easier year for all of us.